I was listening to the story about, it was a story of a family in Washington, and the little boy called the Bigfoot the Cowboy Man. And he had, apparently it had made an effort to steal this kid. And it hit me. My children were in that playpen behind me with nothing but a mosquito net over them. It could have crept up behind me and taken both of my children, and I wouldn't have known.
Father just got like a Mustang or something from Wyoming, okay? He had it out in the corral because he couldn't put it in the barn in the stalls with the other horses because it would kick and made all the other horses nervous. Had a Seminole Indian working the horse trying to break it every day. So they had it out in the corral. This skunk ape snuck up behind this horse and grabbed it on its hindquarters. This particular horse kicks out, jumps over the corral, runs into the pasture, to get away. At this point, the rancher's out there just blasted away with the 30-30. The skunk ape runs into the swamp.
I went up there one day after that, or 2 days after that. I went up there and sat in the silence up there, and I'm telling you, man, it was free. It was crazy. There was a crazy vibe up there still. I did what I could to kind of get things under control, but I told her, I said, you need to get off this property. I feel like no matter how strong you are, it's almost like standing in the ocean. You can't stand still without moving your feet. You're going to get knocked over eventually, no matter how strong, whatever. You can't withstand a barrage of weird spiritual energy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Paranormal Odyssey. Got another short story lined up for you guys today. Before we get there, though, I do want to state that what I'm talking about today is a bit more on the serious side than we normally cover. So I want to talk about something first. Some studies have shown that a lot of people only listen to the first few minutes of a show. So I want to talk about this first to make sure that everyone hears it. I'm going to be attaching the phone number for the suicide prevention hotline in the show notes. And I just want to reach out to anyone that is struggling right now, having dark thoughts or thinking about harming yourself in any way, and just ask you to please reach out and talk to someone. Get the help that you need. You're going through a hard time right now, but I promise you, as someone that has dealt with these dark feelings and impulses in the past, it gets better. I promise you, it gets so much better. What you're going through right now is just a small phase of a long life. Just reach out and talk to somebody and get the help that you need. All right, all of that out of the way. Ask everyone, hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. I would appreciate it. Also, if you would, check out paranormalworldproductions.com. Help support all three of the shows: Sasquatch Odyssey, Paranormal Odyssey, True Crime Odyssey. So go over and check out the website, please. All right, guys, I think I'm just going to jump into this one. This one is called Walking Sam. Another one I wasn't familiar with, but it has a tie to what I started the show talking about. It deals a little bit with suicide. So I do want to put that warning out there that for anybody that, it might be offensive to some people. I don't really know, but I just feel like I need to put that warning out there. Near the Black Hills of South Dakota sits one of the largest Indian reservations in the country, the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, home to the Oglala Lakota tribe. I'm sorry if I butchered that name, guys. Pine Ridge has a long history of trauma. It's the site where hundreds of Lakota Indians were killed during the Wounded Knee Massacre. and it's currently one of the poorest counties in the United States. When it made headlines in 2015 for a spree of teen suicides, many began to suggest that the darker supernatural forces were at work in Pine Ridge, citing the urban legend of Walking Sam. Between December of 2014 and March of 2015, there were 103 suicide attempts made. Nine of those were successful, and none of the victims were older than 25. Many died by hanging. In previous years, there had been other clusters of suicides, but none this large. Stuck in a crisis situation with no clear answers, many began to point to a sinister force that has long existed in Native American tradition and lore. Children raised in Lakota households grew up hearing of suicide spirits, stick people, or shadow people who attempt to lure adolescents from the safety of their homes at night. Over time, and with the explosion of popularity in Slender Man, these stories may have morphed into a single figure now known as Walking Sam. Though he goes by other names as well, most notably Tall Man or Stovepipe Hat Bigfoot, most of the stories describe Walking Sam as a 7 foot tall figure with eyes but no mouth, sometimes wearing a stovepipe hat. When he raises his arms, one sees the bodies of previous victims hanging beneath. When teenagers hear him calling, he tries to persuade them to their worthlessness, encouraging them to kill themselves. Some believe he targets younger people because they are more susceptible to his tricks. There are also those who believe he is not even necessarily a malicious entity, but rather one who wanders the forest as some sort of punishment and is merely looking for companionship. There are also the obvious ties to boogeyman folklore and Slenderman legends. But from a cryptozoological standpoint, some believe he may be another version of, or in fact related to, Bigfoot. Finally, for a people group who have such an intertwined spiritual connection between the land and their heritage, some believe that Walking Sam is a sort of physical manifestation of the hurt and trauma that Lakota Indians experience on a regular basis. Whether Walking Sam is real or perhaps a metaphor for depression, many of the adults in Pine Ridge take the threat he represents seriously, asking for help from government officials in curtailing the devastating effects of the legend. Disturbing videos have surfaced of teens explaining how to tie the rope just right. Pastors and teachers have stepped in at the last moment to stop group suicides. Authorities find nooses hanging grimly from trees. Whether or not these young adults are having their dark desires exacerbated by an ominous urban legend boogeyman remains a mystery. However, what is clear is that in a land plagued by extreme poverty, alcohol abuse, and skyrocketing high school dropout rates, teens are struggling with mental health issues and need proper care and support. Yes, they do. All right, guys, there you go. You have it. One of the shorter ones that I've done, but when I was looking at some topics I wanted to cover in the future, I was checking them out this morning, and I come across that one, and there were this one, Walking Sam, and I had to do it. My mind was made up. That this was gonna be my very next one. Um, can't stress enough, guys, the importance of just talking. So how much help that gives you, how much of a weight can be lifted off of you if you will just take the time to reach out and talk to somebody. You don't have to call the hotline. If you have somebody that you trust, a friend, a family member, preacher, adult, that you trust, talk to them. And again, if you don't have any of those people, the suicide prevention hotline will be in the show notes. Reach out to them, guys. A spur of the moment decision is permanent. And it's permanent. You make that decision to do it, and it's over. And not only is your life over, but you have devastated so many people. So I'm just saying things that you've all heard a million times, but I don't know. They need to be said. So, and guys, if you're having any issues, depression, loneliness, reach out and talk to somebody. All right, I got this article today from puzzlebox.com. No, I'm sorry, puzzleboxhorror.com. I want to give those guys credit for that story. All right. Again, guys, I want to remind everybody about Paranormal Odyssey Live, which can be found every Friday night, 7:30 Eastern. And Paranormal Odyssey podcast, which can be found. New episodes are released every Wednesday and Sunday. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the major podcatchers, Audible, Amazon, all that good stuff. So, yeah. All right. I don't know if there's anything else I need to cover. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. Paranormalworldproductions.com. Show us some love and support. All right. Another short video, 12 minutes in and out. You guys be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. See you next time.